Hey everybody, so we are going to read about Abby and Libby. Looks like there's been a break in the case. It's exciting. We've got a Richard M. Allen, 50 years old, and he actually lives in Delphi. And if you remember previous readings that I did, it did say the person in Delphi. So here we are. We have a very good, it looks like, suspect. Even his pictures look like the bridge guy. So we are going to explore a little bit more and see what the cards have to say. He does have a wife as well. We saw that in one of my previous readings. And it looks like he has a daughter. The daughter, I don't know how old she is. I did see a picture, and she looks like she could be similar in age to Abby and Libby, because she, in the picture I saw, she looked about I don't know, maybe 18, and that's about, they'd be getting close to that age now. So that might have been the connection. We don't know. We just don't know a whole lot about the whole situation. But yeah, he had a wife, a daughter for sure. Could be other children in the home. Just don't know that yet. Though there will be a press conference this Monday at 10. And today is October 29th. So, if you're watching this after that, that's not going to be very helpful. Sure, you can find online. Okay, I'm just going to take a second to hone in. What we asked today is Richard Allen's involvement. Obviously, we're here wondering before the press conference. A lot of people are speculating whether his wife knew. How could she not know? So we're going to ask about the wife's knowledge. We're going to also ask if the daughter knew the girls, if that was a correlation in this crime. And that's maybe how Richard knew the girls. Maybe he was picking up his daughter at the school and the girls were there. There could be all kinds of things that may have tied those two together, especially being, or three, I should say, being a small town. We also are just going to ask what happened, General. We're going to ask if he's going to be found guilty or innocent of these murders. And we're also just going to ask anything we should know. So let me just take a moment to focus on this situation. Okay, so the first question we're going to ask is Richard Allen's involvement in the murders of Libby and Abby. Richard Allen's involvement in the murders of Libby and Abby. All right, let's see what we get here. Richard Allen's involvement in, yeah, it's this first one right here. So that's the moon, and the moon is it's somebody fighting their domestic versus their instinctual desires. So in this moon card, in this one, it actually looks like two wolves, but in the regular Rider-Waite, it's actually a dog and a wolf. And that stands for the inner conflict that many of us feel on our desires, and especially because sometimes the world tells us not to do those things. You can think of a teenager, when they're first understanding like about sex and stuff, they have all these overwhelming desires, but they're being told not to do these things. Well, unfortunately, it looks like this Richard Allen had dark desires that he knew weren't right, but yet he got entangled in, is what I'm getting, and that he let overshadow that domestic dog self of him, and that he had this other side to him, and I am showing that he acted on it, that he had impulses is what's coming to me, and he was not good at controlling those impulses. Yeah, I'm being shown a rope. Yeah, okay. It does look like he was involved and had some real issues with self-control is what I'm showing. Let me ask about the wife, because a lot of people are saying, how could the wife not know? In an earlier reading I did, it looked like some people were suspecting him from what I could see, but they were kind of like sitting back, like watching, like, I don't know, what do you think? So let's ask about his wife. I believe her name's Kathy from what I'm seeing online. Have not verified this. Let's see about her involvement. Basically, I'm just asking, tell me if she knew. Tell me about her knowledge of her husband being involved in this. All right, wife's knowledge. That's this one right here. That is the Eight of Cups. And so that is somebody, I hope you can see that. It looks a little dark. Um, that's somebody turning away from like the good things in their life. And, the moon has its eyes closed up there. And the person is like turning their back on things. And I would bet that's kind of the wife's involvement, that she was not very. I don't think she was a very aware, and I don't think she wanted to be very aware. Like things could be right in front of her face, as these cups are right in front of this person's face. And in this card, this situation is like you've got all these possibilities and all these things that could work out well for you, but you're turning your back on them and you're going into the dark. And that basically is what Richard Allen did. He had, from what I can see, good things in front of him. He had a wife, he had a kid, he had a home, um, but he turned around and he walked into the dark. And so the wife, very generally, may have understood that there was a dark side to him, and that and she didn't know everything about him. Um, I feel there was a mix there. I know he got like dark fantasies. I feel like she understood that. Um, I think she understood everything to the totality. But she understood that her husband had a dark side. I'm seeing in these cards, and that he would follow and go into the dark sometimes. He may have brought her into some of his dark fantasies as well, meaning, in fantasy with her, not um, not that she knew about the girls. Let me clarify that. So let me ask about the daughter, their daughter, which I believe her name is Bridget. Again, I'm getting all this stuff out online. You know if it's true or not, because people are quick to grab stuff. Let's see if the daughter knew. And when I say the daughter knew, I meant, did the daughter know the girls? Was that a connection between this whole situation? All right, let's see what the cards have to say. The daughter's knowledge of the girls. Did she actually know them? Is that kind of a connection in this situation? The daughter's knowledge of the girls. Okay, we've got this card there. Well, that is Temperance, and Temperance is my angel card. It looks like she's holding two cups. To me, it feels like she's balancing things. I feel like she's aware, but far away aware, if that makes sense. I don't think she was really, really close to them. But I do feel that there was an awareness there, almost a watching or something. It's hard for me to quite explain, but I do feel like there was a knowledge of them, almost a watching over them at some point. Um, there was an involvement, but a loose involvement. Let me put it that way. That's the way I feel with this one. All right, let me ask what happened. What happened between Rick Allen, and these girls, Libby and Abby? What happened? And we saw some really dark cards in my previous reading. They were really dark. So let's see what we get today. What happened? That is the magician. That is somebody that tries to make things disappear. We get the magician a lot in murder um, cases, actually, because it's somebody that's trying to act one way and make things look one way. And actually, they say the girls were staged, and magicians stage a lot. It does look like he thought he could be sneaky, and actually he really was, because he did this for so long without anybody knowing it was him. So, in many ways, he was a magician. Let me clarify and ask for a little bit more information on that. And he's pointing down to those flowers too down here, which is catching my eye. And it's reminding me of the flowers here in the Temperance card too. It's almost like they may have even brought flowers and put them at the memorial. How sad is that? His daughter may have. That's what I'm seeing. Let me ask more about what happened between Rick Allen, and these beautiful girls. So we see him hiding in plain sight, as a magician does, hiding things in plain sight. Making himself invisible. Let's see what else went on. And I've got two cards here. We have the Seven of Cups. That is making a decision, a bad decision often. It looks like an opportunity, and that is what he took. In these cups are different things. I don't know how well you can see these cards today. It looks like they're just look dark. But in these cups, there are all kinds of different things. So there's snakes in some of them, and there's jewels in some of them. And, he obviously went for the wrong cup. Guy could have been a drinker too. Um, I actually have now four kind of cards with cups in a row. I'm just going to show them to you just to make you aware of them. The Eight of Cups. We had Temperance, which is holding two cups in her hand. We have the Magician, who prominently has a cup displayed in front of him. And now we have the Seven of Cups. It's making me think he may have been a drinker, to be honest with you. That may have affected some of his ability to keep himself in check, which we saw over here in the Moon card, that he just wasn't keeping himself in check at all. And then also we have the Four of Wands, and we actually got a card similar to that before. In this one, it's kind of a wedding scene, inviting people in, looking like, well, it's what you neighborly, right? Having a welcoming presence and demeanor, and and unfortunately, there's two girls in this card too. So I think he at first acted very friendly to these girls and did try to befriend them. I think he had some sick fantasies. I saw that before about especially one of the girls. And I think it's that younger one, Abby. Um, I feel like he followed them. That's what this card is showing me. And I feel like he was obsessive almost with them. Their youth, their happiness, everything about them that was young and sweet and um, fun and jokey and all of that stuff. There was like an obsession with all of that, with the youth of them. There was a really weird obsession. He wanted them to be his or something. It's very, very strange here, what I'm getting. It had a lot to do with their attracted to youth, is what I'm hearing. Um, and also wanting to control it in a weird way. Like wanting to possess it, because he was very attracted to it. And he also hated it in a weird way and wanting to have control over it and take it away. It's very strange what's coming to my mind. It's very strange. He's attracted to the happiness and sweetness and all of that and the joyfulness of young girls, and yet he wants to um, like block it and take it away from them as well, and make them, for lack of a better word, like submissive women. That's what I'm getting from this. It's a very bizarre scenario. He wants to make them submissive. There's something about that youthfulness and the joyfulness and the laughing out loud and being silly that makes him want to make them get in line and be submissive. And yet he's very attracted to that personality to begin with. So it's like this catch 22. It's really weird. All right, let's talk about him being guilty or innocent of these murders. Let's focus on that for a second. He does look like the bridge guy from what I can see. I could see how both of those sketches could have been made. Tell me about his guilty or innocent of these murders. Will he be found guilty or innocent? Guilty or innocent? Oh. I just can't keep these cards right today. Let's try this, and I'm going to take this one too because I felt like I should. All right, is he going to be found guilty or innocent of these murders? Tell us whether he's going to be found guilty or innocent. That's this card right here. That actually is the Lovers. Isn't that bizarre? For guilty or innocent, they're well, there may be more to this than what we know, um, because it looks like the wife's on trial too. Strangely, in this card, it looks like it's not just him. You know, with the Lovers, it's like the wife and the husband are being judged. So there's, I think, or at least the husband's being judged, and the wife is like watching, like, wow. It's funny because this guy's almost like, who, me? You can see him putting his hand. It really looks like there may be more involvement than just him in the guilty or innocent. He's going to be judged, is what I see, because what this whole scene is like Adam and Eve basically is a lot of tarot really have religious connotations. You can even see the snake behind Eve over here, you know, if that's the way you want to relate it. Um, there's fire around them and they're being judged. So I do feel like he is going to be judged. I'm going to ask a little bit more. I feel like his wife really is going to be judged too. That may be just by the public, but it's going to kind of come down heavy on both of them is what I'm seeing. Let me ask about his guilt though. I do see, you know what, I think he is going to be found guilty because it's coming to me now. I can see all these flames around him. I do feel like he is going to burn. I think he's going to really be found guilty. And yeah, I do. I do. It looks like that. Let me just ask for one more card on that. His wife, there's like something about his wife having to testify or something too. Found guilty of their crimes. Tell me about Richard Allen found guilty of these girls' crimes, their murders. Tell me about Richard Allen being found guilty of these girls' murders. Well, there's two cards here. That's taking someone, that's the world. Okay, so that's somebody passing into another world. It does happen sometimes that I get this card when somebody has passed from this world to the spirit world. So it looks like he may be found guilty of that for sure. Oh yeah, oh yeah, here we have it. Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords. I encourage you to pick up this card. Just look at it online if you don't have the cards. It's literally somebody dead next to a river in the wood, in the field, you know, in the grass right next to a river. And that's exactly how these girls were found. And I would bet you some sharp objects were involved because we saw that before. Just pick up the Ten of Swords card. He's going to be found guilty. He absolutely is. And the wife, I don't know what's going on with her. She could even possibly commit suicide or something. I shouldn't say that online. It's not looking good for the wife. I think he took the girls out of the world. I do see that. Um, I feel like the wife's really going to be judged here too. And I almost feel for her, meaning she's involved in a situation that, you know, it's not like she wanted to be involved in this. But there's issues there with the wife too. I'll just say that. Um, all right, let me ask anything else we should know. Anything else we should know about this situation? Anything else we should know? Anything else we should know? All right, two cards again. King of Cups, I again think he was a drinker. We saw this before, and this guy's got a cup in his hand. I think alcohol influenced the situation. I think the guy had some issues. And we've got the Chariots, and that is three people. The one person making these two be submissive to him. This guy driving, being the chariot driver, and these two are submissive to him and have to do what he wills when he wills it. So I think he went at them with a very kind of an um, I'm the boss, you have to obey me. I think he was under the influence, and I think he took full advantage of his authority over them and his status as a grown man. And he was very just kind of bossing them around. And these girls didn't feel like they could stand up to him. They did become very submissive, as young girls and probably a lot of people that are adults too would become. Um, and you know, I see the wings. I see him as very he enjoys playing the powerful position. He enjoys having them submissive. We saw that weird dynamic with him before, where he very much likes to break them. He enjoys that. That's part of his what he gets off on is breaking people that are happy and joyful and making them submit to him and do his will. And it's very, very sick dynamic here. And I've seen it again and again. The guy's got addiction issues too. He's a drinker, is what I think. All right, that is what I have for this Richard Allen. Time will tell us more on what comes out here. But that's it for take care. Bye bye.